Hello, and welcome to my Maryland Dynasty. I just want to say currently we are in spring practice mode, just trying to find and set my depth charts for the upcoming season. So go ahead and get right into the thick of things. I currently have a position battle going on for a few spots, mainly quarterback and inside linebacker in the 4-2-5 defense. So currently on the screen you have the quarterback one, Tyrell Pigrome. He's a redshirt senior. Pigrome has a few things about him that makes him a worthy starter. He has a good mobile speed, accuracy issues, pocket awareness issues, but things you could work with. Even though he's a lower overall, not doesn't have the biggest arm. I think his arm is very, very weak. His accuracy isn't great, but with those downsides, he has the mobile factor to him that helps negate some of those problems. And then you have his backup, who is redshirt junior Josh Jackson. He has the size advantage. He's bigger. Pigrome is, I think, 5'10", maybe 190 something. And Jackson is a little bit bigger, 6'1", 6'2", 210 in that area. But the differences between the two are kind of massive, but kind of small. Jackson's a little bit more accurate, but he is not as mobile. And partially that is a problem for the spread offense because you need a guy who can escape the pocket and run the options if need be. But the accuracy is nice. He has a nice little deep ball, nice across the middle. Pigrome is a little bit, if you keep it short, he's accurate enough. But if you go deep, he has a tendency to miss and usually miss pretty bad. Just the throw power just isn't there. Can't really zip passes in like that, like you would want to from your quarterback. So, It's a battle to an extent, but Pigrome currently is locked in to the number one spot. I would assume that he probably won't be usurped from that unless injuries happen, things like that happen, just because the mobile factor that he has negates the difference between the two passing wise. On defense, and we'll get to this in the clips in just a little bit as Jackson steps in and takes his first few snaps of the spring practice. On defense, it's more of a problem. I won't say a problem, but more of a packaging problem. In the 4-2-5, you want two middle linebackers who can take the responsibilities of coverage. And the starting middle linebackers aren't bad in coverage, but they aren't really good at it either. They're really kind of average, below average. Not the greatest. Starting middle linebacker is number 16, Ayinde Eli. 6'3", 226. He's a sophomore. And if it was a 3-4 defense or a 4-3 defense, he would be a pretty decent middle linebacker to have or interior linebacker to have. But because it's a 4-2-5 and so much emphasis is placed on that inside linebacker position and running and run stop and pass coverage, his speed is more or less an extreme weakness. I want to say he has 68 speed, so he's very liable to be exploited. Great tackler, really good block shed, but his coverage and his speed is such a downside. So I experimented with a few packages. It'll get to it sooner or later, as you'll see as it zooms in on them. Ayinde Eli and his partner beside him, Shaq Smith, who's a junior, is number 5, and Ayinde is number 16. That is the first pair that I experimented with. Neither one of them are really good in coverage at all. Neither of them are really fast. Both are sub 75 speed, but they're both the best tackling package that I currently have. So they are at the very least going to be in goal line packages and the 4-2-5 packages that I want to use when we're closer to the goal line and areas like that. Now, the other package that I have is more of a hybrid package that I would like to use, just because the speed difference is better, the coverage is better, but the block shedding and the tackling is a little bit worse. But maybe it's a good enough trade-off, just depending. First, I want to have my Mike linebacker, my inside middle linebacker. It will be Nick Cross. Nick Cross is a strong safety, number 3. He's a strong safety. He's inside linebacker. He's probably going to be a slot corner in this system also, just depending on how I feel like using him. He's a freshman, true freshman, 6'1", 212, extremely fast, extremely agile. He's average against the run, not great. His coverage is a high plus. That's probably one of the things that he could do best, but his block shedding ability is probably going to be what lets him down. So I don't think I'll use him in every package at inside linebacker. I think the majority of the time he'll be the left slot linebacker. On your screen now you see this is Allende Eli, number 16, and then it'll switch over to his partner Shaq Smith Jr., number 5. So back to Nick Cross. His block shedding isn't great, so he'll probably be more of a coverage backer in certain situations. I would like to develop him a little bit more. I think over time with the strong safety that's above him in the depth chart, he'll probably take that position over next season, and that's where he'll play full time. But this season, he'll be more of an inside linebacker slot guy. Just at least get him play time so he can improve. Now his partner that I would have beside him is Keandre Jones, number 4. He's an inside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end type of guy. If it was another system, he'd probably fit best into the 3-4 as an outside linebacker, just because his pass rushing is so good. He's a senior, 6'3", 220 pounds, really good tackler, really good pass rusher. Block shedding is great. His coverage is a minus, but I don't think he would be a Mike linebacker. He would be the Will linebacker, and Nick Cross would be the Mike. So his job will be more cleanup duty, blitzing, things like that. I don't think he will be a full-time Will linebacker. I think with him, you have to use his pass rushing ability. As you can see on your screen now, number 3, that is Nick Cross, that Mike linebacker. And then next up, you will see number 4, Keandre Jones, coming in at Will linebacker. But with Keandre, I feel with him being the best pass rusher on the team, but also the best linebacker on the team, you have to use him in that hybrid way just to get the most out of him. He's the best pass rusher, the best run stopper, the fastest guy. Putting him at just outside linebacker or just defensive end will be a waste of his talents. So he'll mix up a little bit. He'll play defensive end in certain packages. He'll play middle linebacker in certain packages. I think that's all the way I would keep him at, just to get the most out of him. And those are my 2 packages that I'm currently working in now. So this on the screen currently is Cross and Keandre Jones, that packaging. And as you can see, it's kind of getting torn up a little bit in the rushing plays and things like that. And it's a little bit slower to react. I would like to maybe mess with that a little bit. Maybe Cross will come in at Mike linebacker, but I'll put Elay at Will linebacker and let him play cleanup duty with rushing attacks and stuff like that. And let Cross be the main coverage guy. Let him cover the tight ends and maybe guys that are a little bit further out that Elay can't cover himself. And then we have another middle linebacker, Chance Campbell, number 44. He's a sophomore, 6'3", 225. He's currently the 2nd and 3rd string middle linebacker, depending on where I want to put him at as time goes on. He's fast, very agile. He's very average against the run, not the greatest, but he is also only a sophomore. He's 6'3", 225. He's not the biggest. But I think as time goes, he'll probably move into a starting position. And I would like for him to move into the number 1 Mike spot as time goes on. His coverage isn't the greatest currently. His awareness isn't the greatest currently. So he still has a lot of growing to do before he can move into that starting position. But he'll probably play a decent amount of special teams and play a decent amount of miscellaneous snaps here and there when guys get tired, just because I don't know if he'll ever be the greatest guy. I would like for him to grow into a Mike linebacker, but the chances are that he probably won't. So as we wrap up this video here, that's just my starting. That's what I've started with so far in spring practice. So far, it looks like it's gonna be a mix of Allende Eli and Keandre Jones at Mike and Will linebacker, and at quarterback is probably gonna be Pagrom. I can't see any other reason to not go with him at the current moment in time. The accuracy difference isn't big enough for me to ignore, but the speed difference is. So that's it for this current video for today, and I'll see you week 1 versus UConn.